We're going to be doing some Ethereum scalping in this video. I'm zoomed out on the 12-hour chart to provide and emphasize how important context is when you are scalping, especially on the 1-minute chart. You can't just go down to the 1-minute chart and start entering trades, start firing them off. You're going to end up over trading. You're going to end up blowing your account. This is going to be the way to approach trading, especially on the 1-minute chart, is very important. So we're going to maximize our gains and minimize our risk by using key pivot points, utilizing these. We are zoomed out here to show you how important it is. We've gotten these really thick trend lines in. These are horizontal. They are also diagonal for support and resistance. These are very key. And before we go into the strategy, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I noticed a lot of you guys are watching my videos not subscribed. Hit the button down below. And thumbs up the video if you like this sort of content. It really helps me know if you guys like this kind of content, and I'll make more of it. I'll keep providing quality content for you guys. So let's go down to the 4-hour chart. We're going to look what our indicator is telling us here. We also have this level. I'm going to just change the color to make it more visible. That blue line, we're approaching an intersection here between this support line, which is horizontal. I'm also going to change that color. Both blue lines are going to intersect at this level. We would anticipate, if history holds true, that price is going to act like a magnet to that level, and then we are going to get sucked up to that level here. We also have some buy signals. We have the oversold RSI signal on the 4-hour chart right there, and then we bounced off of it and we broke out. So that RSI signal right there was the first warning that we're going to jump from around 1900 all the way up here to around 2000, and that is a very good trade to take and to hold for at least 8 to 12 hours. Dropping down to the 1-minute chart is not going to be as easy as just going and clicking on the 1-minute chart. We really want to see what's happening with our momentum, with our support and resistance. And as you can see, we can start to make note of some resistance that we may run into here. Now, this was our first bounce here, and then our momentum is coming up here on the 4-hour, approaching this key pivot point. So we already are a little bit cautious about entering a long here. We're looking at this long. If you're in this trade based off this TLRSI, they don't print often on the 4-hour. As you can see, there's a bunch of green ones, a bunch of purple ones. Those are trend continuation patterns. But the TLRSI is really that key pivot point, especially on higher time frames. This is where we're going to look to either take profit on that long. We're going to drop down and really see what's going on. We're approaching that resistance, and we're going to drop down to a lower time frame here. Again, if you're unfamiliar with this indicator that I have on your screen, the website is wolfpackprofessional.com. You can check it out down below. The links, all the links are in the description. There's also a reseller program. You can make 15% on every resale that you make. It actually pays fairly well. You can check it out and pick up a copy yourself and start strategizing with it. It's a really powerful indicator. Zoom in here. We have a bull flag starting to print on the 1-hour chart. This is fairly good. We know that we still, on the higher time frames, we might be looking like we're gassing out soon. And if we gas out, the hypothesis going into this trade is going to be around this key resistance level. As you can see, we couldn't break through that level back here, and now we have this big blue trend line coming down from the 4-hour chart, and that's going to be what we're keeping in mind. Again, it starts up here, the second bounce was here, and now we would anticipate that we could either break through it here, and we would look like something like this, would come back and retest it and then break through, or we could come up, approach it, maybe consolidate a little bit, and then reject down. And that would be a very bad thing if you were in a long position. Let's go down to our scalping levels here, and we're going to go down to the 5-minute chart to see what is happening on this level. I want to keep it as simple as possible for beginners, as well as I want to have a little bit more complicated strategies for a little bit more advanced users, traders who have been trading for a couple years. We have a little bit of support that we could draw in. Let's go down to the 1-minute chart. So this is going to be our support line on, we have the automatic support line drawn in by Wolfpack. We have this bounce here, and here we have a trigger wave. We're anticipating we're likely to come up here at like like a magnet, but we're not sure exactly when that's going to happen. If we cross down on this, I'll just draw this to emphasize. That's going to be the level that we're looking at on the 5-minute chart. The 3-minute chart is also important to take a look at. It's one of my favorite time frames. We don't know when we're going to approach that level. It looks like on the 3-minute chart we've already broken down through our support line here, so it doesn't look too good. We're waiting to see what happens, and then on the 1-minute, so we might have a little bit of a pullback here. We've just had a little bit of a surge, and a lot of smarter traders might be waiting to. We can start to see that we have the support line, and we can also draw in a very small time frame. This is just the 1-minute chart, so it's not that important. But we have this level right here. We pivoted off of it back here, so this is going to be potentially a key level right there. You can see we almost touched it, and then we continued upwards. Every time we touch this trend line, we keep going upwards. We're going to watch what happens in that area. Let's go forward. We're on the 1-minute chart now, so this is where we're looking for our scalps. We have a trend line break here on the 1-minute, and we can consider entering a short at that level. Let's just place that. Let's place a short. We broke through our trend line right here, so we have a short, and we're near resistance. We can place our stop loss just below this last pivot high. We're going to use the horizontal ray just to mark that level. We're going to just place it just above that line, so we're in a short. We're going to watch what happens. There we're coming down to that line, and look, we just broke down. There's no bullish candles. Our short is already in profit. We've just broken down through support, and we know that potentially if we keep coming down, we're going to come down to this horizontal line eventually. We're going to retest upwards trending line here, and it looks like that 1-minute candle tried to retest and already started coming down. We're retesting. We came down to this level. This is where anywhere in here would be great to take profit in this area. Let's just look at how much profit. We have scalp number 1, and that was 1.1% profit. Then that was really, really simple, really quick scalp. We can take profit on that bullish trend line. We have a bullish trend line break here. That's just coming down from, I'll just draw it in to emphasize, from this peak downwards just like that, and this wave is coming upwards. We've broken through that on the 1-minute chart, and let's just move forward to see what's happening. We can consider placing a long down at this area here, but it looks like we're really, really mangling with this level here, so I'm not as comfortable entering this trade here. We're not as overbought as we were back here. So let's move forward. There we broke through, we broke that trend line. And if we go back here, we have this key level of support back here. Let's just go back and plot that in. That's going to be really important for any potential pivot points. And this here, this trend line that we have drawn in, we're anticipating potentially a bounce. Usually it was resistance, we've crossed above it. It could be our bounce point, and that looks like it could be in this price area of support back here. So these things, since they're in alignment and agreeing, that is what we're going to look out for going forward. We haven't touched the support area yet. It looks like we could start coming up. Let's keep moving forward. We're just going to wait. We're going to be patient. There, we've touched our support right there. And there's our buy signal. If you look, we also have a bull flag. It's very faint. It's a faint bull flag. We have a buy signal here at our key support here, so we could enter a long right there. I would be very comfortable taking this long. We have a tight stop loss. Let's just place that right here after this candle. Stop loss is just below that. We'll place just like this, just below there, and we'll make it magenta. The wave's coming up. This is very good. We're in profit, and we're just going to wait. There's a golden cross, so this is very good. We have a golden cross and a bullish trendline break. This is what we're looking for. The trigger waves with this confirmation, you can consider at this emerald right here. You see this emerald printing? That could be you increasing your order size on this candle here. As you can see, right after the golden cross, we start to really become bullish. This is indicative of a turnaround. We can actually go to the 3-minute chart just for confirmation. Yeah, the wave is coming up. We have a bullish trendline break. On the 3-minute chart, that's really good, just to emphasize what that represents. Let's just move this. The wave comes above right at this level, and we have this green square that appears. that is a bullish trendline break. Let's look at the 5-minute chart, watch what's happening. We're keeping all of this in mind. Wave has just started to come up, and as you can see, there's a red wave in behind here. It was dark red and it just turned to light red. That means it's starting to come up. That's the advanced money flow index. Also, the volume flow on the 5-minute has just turned bright green. The volume flow is starting to indicate a turnaround on the 5-minute. We have all of this going in our direction. This is a scalp, and we've entered down here. You can increase your order size over here, and we're just going to hold it and consider taking profit at some of these key levels. We can increase this resistance line. We would anticipate this is going to be our first take profit point here. Let's look at where our take profit levels are going to be. There's a horizontal line. We rejected at this level several times. We have an intersection here. Let's just keep looking what happens. There, we tested it. We're testing this, and we're just waiting to see what's happening with price action, if there's going to be a bullish engulfing candle there. We broke through it. We're going to possibly retest it there. There we are. We retested successfully. We are holding our long, and now we're all the way up at our key. These were our key pivot point levels. That's going to be our take profit points depending on what happens on the 1-minute chart. We have a upwards triangle, we have a bull flag. This is still fairly good. Hold this position. So the RSI is overbought. We know that this is going to be a key higher time frame resistance level when we're in profit, so we can start looking. Once the acceleration wave starts coming down, we will consider taking our profit at these levels. We can set our take profit as well when we break down these levels. There's two ways to draw this. There's one trend line here. Our indicator is probably going to do it for us, but it's also from this wave to this second wave here. So we have these two pivot points. Those are both going to be take profit areas. In terms of momentum, that is another framing to consider looking at it, because you know if momentum is coming down, you might as well just take your profit at the key area. This trade already is in fairly good profit. We entered here. Right now, at the end of this candle, we are at 2.74% profit in ETH. This is very good. And that was 45 bars, 45 minutes. So within an hour, we made almost 3%. So let's move forward, watch what happens. The acceleration wave is starting to come down. Volume flow is starting to go out. We are interacting with this price level. It looks like now we have a sell signal, and the wave is really, really high. We have 3 pink RSI signals, these pink squares. Those are an overbought position. So we are expecting a pullback. Given that we have all of this in place, we can consider taking our profit on that long and placing a short with a very tight stop loss. That's gonna be our key resistance level. So we could place a stop loss just below there or just above there on a short. So let's enter a short. Given that we have this sell signal right here on this time frame, we have the sell signal. We're just waiting to get it at the highest point possible, and it's just going to be at these key levels here. The acceleration wave coming down is very good. Let's place the short at that area. We're just going to have our stop loss moving it up just above, safely above this level here. This is a very, very low risk trade. Our stop loss is fairly tight. It's just above that line, so if we come above it, we won't be in any danger because our stop loss is just above there, and if we hit that, then for sure it's time to bail out of that trade. We'll take a loss. We just made some massive gains on these scalps. Now let's move forward with our short, and let's look what's happening. We had a third RSI. There's a fourth one, 4, and then we start seeing purple. That means that the RSI is really, really coming down, and our volume flow is going out. So we're already in profit. We're looking for potential bounce points. This line here was a pivot way, way back here. Let's hold this short and just keep watching what happens. And our next support level is going to be this upwards sloping trend line that this here is our first. We have a bull flag. We have a bullish trend line break. That is our first take profit. We could take a little bit off that trade. We already made around 1% profit, 30 minutes and 27 minutes. Let's keep holding. We're just going to watch if we break down through that level. That if you took your profit, it's time to go short. We retested this line moving forward, and we broke down through it. So if we held our short, we would be in some very good profit. Let's just look from the top here, 2.47% profit. If you took the profit off that short, we were anticipating a bounce off this horizontal line here. I'll make it yellow just to show you. And then this line here, I'll make this one yellow as well. We retested this and then failed, and look what happened on on the acceleration wave. Our acceleration wave and our volume flow is going to be key for scalping. Right here, the acceleration wave coming down already before we even touched it. The acceleration wave was coming down, and then volume flow, boom, right there. It's going to dark red. So that is a potential short, and the stop loss right above this horizontal line. This diagonal yellow line is our resistance, and just the logical level is right above that. So if you placed a short there, then you would also be in profit just based off trading with the acceleration wave, trading with a higher time frame context, knowing that this is a key level of resistance on the higher time frames. We know there's going to be a lot of volatility in this area, and this trade was 1.36%. And just so you guys know, that is generally how you do it. There's going to be a lot of sideways action, but during that consolidation, you want to be aware of where the key pivot points are. So just up here, we really are aware that this level, there's going to be a high amount of volatility. We have a magnet to this area here. We nailed these trades. This was very healthy price action. And then as soon as we started coming down, we nailed these shorts as well. You don't want to get sucked into sideways price action or really gross price action where the market's just going sideways. We want to wait for key areas and make notes of what's happening on the higher time frames as well. As you saw, we cross-referenced everything. We validated it with confluence, and we nailed those trades. Every single one that had a high degree of confluence, we nailed, and the price action followed from that. Thank you for watching my strategy videos. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like seeing this kind of content. If you want to see more, smash that like button. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.